It's show time. It says here. Hello, all. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's on the other side of the screen, but thanks for taking some of your time to participate and interact with us today. This live is part of a series of events that SheUp Community have been organizing in all channels that we are present. So make sure you interact and send us questions by the time of this interview is happening. Today, our topic is breaking gender stereotypes in doing business in China. And we are speaking with a great leader, RozeMerie Cuevas, founder and designer of Jack by Jacqueline Conoir. With proven success of expanding her business to China, her brand is well established and known among Chinese ladies and accounts with more than 100 stores across China. So I would like to thank you, Roze, for taking some of your time to contribute to the development of our community. I will add her soon to the screen. But first, I would like to show you a little video of her. So, are you ready to see this amazing lady? Let's put the video here.
My past has not defined me, destroyed me, or defeated me. It has only strengthened me.
Yeah, I believe it. So now I'm gonna invite Roze to the show. Hello.
Hello, Tawana. So nice to see you.
Hello. Thank you very much again for participating. Thank you for taking some of your time. I know you're a very busy lady, successful lady, a great leader from our community. We are very proud to have you here. Roze, first of all, please, if you can introduce a little bit of yourself, a little bit of your brand, a little bit of your purpose in life, everything about you that we need to know first.
Wow, that's a big job. But anyways, my name is RozeMerie Cuevas. I am the founder of Canadian brand Jack. I have been designing for the past 35 years and building our brand. I started it when I was 20 years old with my husband at the time. And together we've built it to where it is today. I'd say I was an independent designer for about 25 years. And then in 2013, we decided that we would take the brand international. We were very lucky to meet an amazing partner who was established in China. And since then, we were able to bring the brand to China and open 100 stores. We've also continued our expansion in Canada. So it's been quite the journey, very long journey.
Yes, I can definitely feel that. When I was living in China, I cannot even count in my hands how many ladies loved your work and got inspired by your work. And yeah, we can see that it's a growing business and you are very well established from our eyes, at least. So the topic today is about breaking stereotypes in business. We are in International Women's Week, almost finishing this week, and we all want to know what it takes to have a successful business relationship in China.
Okay. Well, I guess I can't speak for other people, but I can speak for what has made our partnership and relationship a success here in China. I think I think it's extremely important. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, whether you're in China, whether you're in Brazil, South America, you know, or whether you're in Europe, Canada, you know, I think finding the right partner isn't easy. I think partnerships are not easy in general, but I think the key element in having a successful partnership is transparency. So and honesty and trust. So if you can, you know, have those three elements, and you know, actively make sure that, you know, you're checking in and keeping those 3 points in check, everything else is really, you know, runs smoothly, especially if you also have the same vision. If you have a unified vision, in addition to those 3 elements of trust and respect, then it's easy to, you know, focus on the business rather than focusing on the partnerships. So yeah, I think those would be the most important key elements in having a successful partnership, whether it's in China or somewhere else in the world.
That is a very good point. We know that pursuing these relationships is key to be successful anywhere in the world, but we also know that China brings many other challenges, perhaps even for your own industry. You have specific challenges that technology companies wouldn't face. So if you could speak a little bit about these challenges that specifically fashion industry companies will face in China.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think China in itself, firstly, it's a country of opportunity. It's a huge country of opportunity. The population is massive. There are 15, you know, cities that have more than 10 million people. It's just a huge, massive market. So if you can conquer the challenges, it's really worth entering the market. Some of the challenges is understanding how business is done. So, you know, there are different business etiquette. There's different business etiquette for different industries. So what might be completely normal outside of China is not so normal inside of China, and vice versa. So what is extremely normal here may not be the norm outside. I think the language barrier was also a huge challenge for me coming into the country. You know, a later part of my life, I wasn't able to dedicate the time to learn the language, so that is a big, huge challenge. But I think, you know, you can maneuver without actually having the language. You can have a translator, which is what I usually have, and I have a business partner who speaks the language. But some of the challenges really revolve around just the way business is done. And, you know, how do you enter into, you know, retail environment? How do you enter into the department stores? This is very different than what we would do, let's say, in Canada or in America.
Great answer. Yeah, we have to highlight that China is a huge opportunity market, and this brings many good things for any kind of businesses, but you have these challenges that you have to overcome. You have to find ways to overcome them. Would you have like I don't know, let's say 5 things that you must have before starting a fashion business in China, kind of?
Well, it actually depends. So, you know, whether you should come to China to do business or not, and the 5 things that you should have really depends on how big you want to become. So if you want to be a small independent designer, you know, with one boutique where you're creating specific garments to sell in through that one boutique, there are a certain set of criteria that you need. For that, some creativity in terms of design, some, ability to run a retail environment, the ability to attract a customer. Those would be some of the 3 key points. I think maybe speaking a little bit of the language, of course, although, there are many people that do speak English here as well as a second language. So if you want to have a smaller business, that would be what you would need. If you want to grow a business to the point where we've grown this business, where, we could sell the product, to 100, maybe our goal is actually to have 500 boutiques. You need a large investment. That's primary, one of the aspects. You need a complete collection, anywhere from 100 to 150 styles 4 times a year. It has to be complete with double face coats, down coats, knits, separates. So it has to be very complete. It has to have competitive pricing, and it has to be very good quality. Then you need to know how to actually open all the retail environment, open the retail stores, and attract customers to open franchises with you. So those are, you need to, have the ability to do that. You need to be able to build a large team. So our team, for example, is about 100 people in our head office. And then we have another 100 in our factory. And then we have another maybe 150 in our retail environment. So you need the ability to recruit. So, to find the staff members that you need to run the company. And you have to be great at PR and social media, and you have to be great at production. And so there's a lot of parts to building a big business. So it really depends on the size. Now, to build a business the size that we're at, I think it would be very difficult to do as an independent designer that's working on their own. It's very difficult. Actually, I would say impossible.
What about if this design is very comfortable with China's ecosystem? If this person lives in China for a long time, because this is also something that we as a community, we are helping the ecosystem in China to connect
Yes.
with different people, different resources. And we've seen a lot of people succeed from being in China for a long time, being part of this ecosystem.
I think everything's possible in China. Everything is possible. I think once you set your mind to it, there's always a path. The only thing that I would say that is that things change so quickly here that you have to be able to adapt and change with the speed at which things happen here in China. The opportunities come left, right, and center. So it's really important to have an open mind and be willing to change and adapt with the changes that are happening in China. But I do think that having a business in China is definitely possible. It just depends on the scale that you want to come in at.
Very good. And what about having a partner or not? This is something that everyone asks when they see China as a possible market. They get excited, but this is one of the first questions people ask. Should I have a partner? Should I not? So what is your experience? Do you actually...
Well, yeah, that's a great question. I think myself personally, there's no way that I could do business the way that I've done it without a partner. I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done on my own. There's just no way. I came to China 6 years ago, and I would not know where to begin had I come on my own. Whereas I partnered with someone who had the same vision in mind as I did. And that vision was to grow Jack as big as we could, get the brand. So we were lucky. We just happened to find each other and have the same vision and also have the same business etiquette. So I work really hard, and so do they. So we matched in that department. I had 20 years experience, 25 years experience. They had 25 years experience. So we were matched in every level. The other, aspect is that you need to trust each other and, trust that, if you're coming into the country to do business and someone invests in you the way someone invested in me, you have to be prepared to, deliver. And, I made huge, not promises, but I thought that I had a great brand and I thought it could do well in China. And so I asked my partner to trust in that brand. And so he did trust in it, but he also invested in it. And so when someone invests in you and your brand, you also need to work really hard to deliver and, make sure that you can make the brand as best as it could be. So for me, I wouldn't have been able to come to China without a partner, but I do know that it's not easy to have a partner. And I know when I wanted to come to China and partner, everyone told me, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. No one could give me a good example of, a partnership that had actually worked. But I really do have to say that when things don't work out, it's not just from one side. It usually breaks down from both sides. Either, because what in our situation, for example, and my partner, we had a 3-page agreement and a handshake. And, so in my agreement, I should do, this much, but in fact, I did this much. And my partner should do this much. And in fact, he did this much. And so the more he did, the more I did, the more I did, the more he did. And so rather than going the other way, saying like, oh, this is in my contract and I'll do this much, and him for the same, this is in our contract and he'll do that. We just did more than what was expected. And so we just had great respect for each other. And then it just kind of snowballed into, growing, and it's grown much faster than we had expected.
Yeah. This is so both of you have a very matching mindset, perhaps, for working.
I think we have the same business ethic, and we also have great respect for one another. And I wouldn't want to disappoint them, and I think they wouldn't want to disappoint me. So we've all tried our hardest to make sure that the brand and the business grew as quickly as it possibly could. And we're in the middle of our next growth phase. So we're really ecstatic.
Great. And going a little bit deeper in this partner topic, where do you feel that he can do and you can't touch, and you can do and he can't or she can't?
I think can't is a big word. I think typically in a partnership, what is healthy is that there is, a line. So I'm creative director, he's business development. We have a third part, which is creative director of a secondary brand. So we have our departments, but and we're in charge of our own departments, but I would never say that someone can't touch my department, because I feel that I can always learn something. And it's really important to keep an open mind. So if someone is giving me a suggestion, I would actually have to listen and take it into consideration. Because if someone is taking the time to share their thought with me, probably means that there are other people who might have the same opinion as well. So I think it's very healthy to, draw the lines between departments and, have people responsible for different aspects of the company. But I think it's actually really important to also to hear each other when, someone has a suggestion they want to make in your department. In my case, I'm happy to hear any suggestion someone has to make. At the end, I'll make my own final decision, but I think it's always great to be open-minded and open to learning.
Great answer. Roze, and what about when people ask you, or for me, this question appears a lot as well. Why would I choose China to start a business venture? What would you answer for this question?
Well, I think I did business in Canada for 25 years before I came to China. And it gave me a really great lifestyle. And it gave me, I have, had an amazing business in Canada. And it was a great environment. But in order to go bigger, like big, really big, which was the vision for my brand, I couldn't do it in Canada. It was just too small of a, population. But also I needed to find a partner who was interested in building a brand. And to build a brand in Canada or North America, it takes a long time, but you also need huge financing compared to what you would need, let's say, in China. And in China, the population is so huge, so the speed at which a company could grow in China, so we could open 300 to 500 stores within the next 4 years. It would be impossible to open 300 to 500 stores in North America. It's just really impossible. So I think the reason I chose China is just that sheer size of the potential of size in China is bigger than most, whether it's in Europe or North America or Brazil or South America, or I really can't see any other area where the speed at which things grow is faster than China.
Yeah,
it's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, yeah, and opportunities come with numbers, right?
Absolutely.
Roze, and a topic that the fashion industry is always bringing as a business cases, even for us to analyze, is the culture awareness in fashion. When you come to China, you have to understand the culture. So how did you adapt your style? Did you have to adapt? Do you have to take care of a few things in terms of colors, in terms of how you communicate your brand? If you could explain a little bit in that part.
Sure. Okay. So I am a Canadian designer, but I was married to a Spanish man for 35 years. I was born to a French mother and a Croatian father. And so I've traveled a lot, all through my career and through my life. And I've noticed that whether you're in Italy or France or Greece or, Colombia or Canada or China, every country has its own culture. So, Italy is a little more sexy, and French is a little, that little Parisian little fashion that happens. I think every country has its own DNA, and when you sell internationally, you do have to take into consideration that there are certain restrictions or certain adjustments that need to be made. It doesn't matter, where you want to sell your brand. What we noticed mostly when we came to China was that, in North America, where the brand is from, showing cleavage or a low, V-neck, plunging V-neck line is perfectly normal. And, it's not shunned upon, and, arms are exposed when you're wearing tank tops and so on. It's perfectly normal. Yet when, you try to sell that kind of product in China, you'll very quickly realize that most women don't show their arms and most women don't show cleavage at all. And yet they have no problem wearing short shorts, like, way, cut way high. Yet we don't tend to do that so much in Canada. So, you just adjust a little bit, but I think what's really important is that the Asian consumer is also willing to purchase international brands, so international feeling. So they're looking for something different than what is available to them here. So I think sometimes you do need to adjust things, but I think at the same time, there's an open-mindedness that's growing very quickly. With the internet and with new mini-series that are featuring international fashion brands and designs, I think the things are changing very rapidly.
Great, very good. So how would you, now that you've been doing this fashion business in China for a while, how would you define your consumer? How would you define your client? Can you define them?
Absolutely.
Is it possible?
Absolutely. Our customer is, she's an independent, educated woman, and she basically follows the motto of our brand, which is Jack lives freely, leads by example, loves life, projects success, inspires, empowers action, and knows exactly what she wants. So that's pretty much the Jack woman in a nutshell. And, our Jack brand has been around for more than 30 years, and I still get emails from women all over the world, saying how our brand has walked them through their career paths. They started out as, whether they were sales clerks or, lower level administrative, and then they've climbed all the way up to owning their own business or becoming CEOs or top lawyers, or so our brand has really followed our consumer right through their whole careers. And I still get emails from women saying, they bought their first suit from me, or they bought their, the first outfit for their wedding or for, a special occasion, or, a man stopped them in the street and commented on their outfit, and then they ended up getting married. So I received so many amazing emails from, women that have worn our brand to, through their daily lives and their, how they've gone through their life. So I'm really lucky for that.
Yes, you are engaging with a generation in China that is, you just explained what kind of woman are they.
Yeah.
And this is very powerful, independent, educated.
Educated, and the Chinese woman is really here in China. The woman is becoming more and more independent, more and more. They're so savvy. They're business women, and they're strong, and they're very accomplished, and it seems like, they don't just have one career, they have like 4 things going at the same time. So that's a really interesting aspect of the culture here as well.
Yes, I can relate to that. I started my career in China, and I learned how to hustle in China. Do so many things at the same time. Have the community, have the office job, go to class, learn Chinese.
Yeah. So it's the big hustle over here. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we're gonna have the 1 million question of this whole event: how to break stereotypes in doing business in China. All women want to learn from you.
Well, I think everyone is very cautious about doing business in China, and I can understand that. But I guess the more success stories that there are and that we can share, I think the more it'll give people confidence that it's possible. But I do, think that a trip to China, and meeting different kinds of business environments, I think it's important to come and check it out. Breaking the stereotype, this will only happen once, we have more and more success stories. And through the SheUp, I'm not able to engage, on the WeChat as much as I would like to, but every day I see what's going on, on the SheUp community, and there are so many women that have come to China and doing their own little, whether they're doing their technology businesses or their, design businesses or jewelry or, baking or, book clubs, or there's so many different things that are going on here. And so I do think that it's going to, the breaking the stereotype will happen through the younger generation that are coming here originally maybe to study the language, and then they end up staying here and they start up their own little businesses. And so eventually I think that stereotype will be broken. It'll change. It'll definitely change. But I do think it will take time. And we do need to see more and more success stories before I think that people will have the ability to, just go for it without hesitation. But I think regardless of where you go in the world, I think there is a little bit of hesitation. If you ask me now whether I would go to even South America, whether I would go to Africa or whether I would go to Russia, those are foreign countries to me, or foreign continents. Whether I would go there to start a business, I don't know. I would have to, think twice about it. So I think, we all think it's more difficult than it is to start somewhere new. I think that's what it is. I think it's, we always think it's a little bit challenging to go where we don't know, where we're not familiar with the culture or the business practices. So it's not easy.
And as we are in the Women's Month, right? We are celebrating women and remembering, acknowledging all the things that happened throughout the history. I wanted to know from you if you have plans and projects to help more women or influence women to work in leadership positions in the fashion industry in China or in Canada.
Well, I am part of the Women's Association here in China, in my area, in the Hangzhou area. So I do a number of talks per year that will, one, share my Canadian culture, but also share my journey to let people know the same way that it's, us coming here to China to do business, there's opportunity for Chinese women to do business outside of China as well. But also, I think in Canada, we work with associations such as Dress for Success, Women in Leadership, Forum for Women Entrepreneurs. I have for the last 25 years. We've always supported women and their business development and so on. It's just women need to support women and bring each other up. So I do think it is really important. My dad even sent me a message and just showing how many women are leading so many countries now, and that just even 10, 20 years ago that was not seen or heard of. So I'm very proud that that is happening, and I really encourage women all over the world to stand up and follow their dream and their vision. Definitely, I did.
Great, Roze. And just to finalize it. We don't want to take the rest of your Friday evening. If you can say something to the community, encourage, for the ones who don't know, actually, Roze was elected from our community as the Woman of SheUp for this month, Women's Month. And we are very proud to have you. So if you have a message to our community, to everyone who's watching, and thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're so welcome. So a message to the SheUp community. I think I would basically tell everyone that whatever they set their mind to, they could achieve, and it's really important to do what you want to do, but do it today. Start today. And move towards your vision. And it the vision may be way over there, and it may, seem so impossible. But it doesn't matter how many baby steps or big steps you're, taking in that direction. As long as you're moving in that direction, your dream will happen. And we all, have dreams. We all, want to achieve something. So I think just focus on it and do it. And it's really just up to you. It's really just up to you. So if you want to, achieve your dream, just follow your heart and do it passionately. And you'll get there. It might not happen today, but look at me. I think I've been at this now for 35 years. And I've never taken my eye off the ball. So I think I encourage everyone just to follow your vision and your dream and make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. She knows what she wants.
Exactly. Absolutely.
For the ones who know the brand will know this.
Yes, exactly. And I do want to say thank you to the SheUp community and the SheUp leaders, Tawana and Daniela. You guys are awesome. It's an awesome community and really supportive of, foreigners here in China. If I didn't have such a great team around me, I would be calling you guys every single day to help me out, because I can see that the support network is definitely there. So if anybody needs anything, connect with the SheUp community. There are so many powerful women on that platform. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Enjoy beautiful Halifax, my home country. And in the meantime, until you come back here, I'll keep things warm over here for you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Tawana. Bye-bye.